Okay, so say you're a synth player like me. No, don't. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. No, you're an analog synth player. One of the great things about analog synths is you have knob per function. Like you have two ways basically to play any given sound. You can be playing and then like grab a knob. Or you can do something like assign some functionality to do something similar to what you just did with the knob. For example, if we wanted the control voltage to control the cutoff of the center filter like I just did, we'd have to like maybe go over to the LFO section and select a waveform that was kind of like that crazy noodling that I was doing, which is probably going to be the lagged sample and hold. But still, then you're just going to get a random thing that would sound like that. I could show you exactly what it would sound like, but I'm not going to sit there and do all that stuff. So what the important thing to remember here is that, you can grab a knob or you can find control voltage to do something along the lines of what you did with the knob. Now, with a modular polyphonic like this, you can probably have several different functions controlling the filter cutoff to get, some sort of desired random outcome or specific outcome, but it's a lot of work. There is, the point I'm getting at is there's a better way to do this. And as you could probably tell from the title of this video, the answer is the motion record, which is a very interesting functionality found on the PolyBrute, which basically, if you really think about it, it is your means of designing a modulation wave. That's what it basically comes down to. You basically choose a function and then you program movement of the knob or slider of that function, and then the motion record records that motion and will apply it to that function in a variety of ways, which is really cool. Okay, let's do a thing here. Okay, so we got morph, and it's just kind of a square wave over here. Let's do something more obnoxious than that so we can really hear a big difference. As simple as that thing I was just irritatingly doing is, it's something you could probably get a modulation source to do it, but it would be easier to do it another way, like the way we're about to find out. Okay, so basically to record a motion on the motion recorder, there isn't a lot of functionality over here, as you can see. You basically just press record arm. Now, what it's waiting for now is first, and this is important, for you to play a note. And then it wants you to turn the knob that you want the motion record to record a motion specifically on, because it's focused on that one knob that you do this with. You can't aim it around to wherever you want or switch it. It's going to be whatever you do. So I'm going to use the morph knob. I'm going to play a note and then play some sort of crazy, wacky morph movement onto that knob. Here we go. Now, I don't know how long you can just sit there and turn that knob. I don't know how long the motion record records, but it undoubtedly recorded something. So I'm going to turn off the record arm. And then then it's off. I have it on off. So if I played something right now, you're not going to get crap. So what you need to do is turn it on. Let's say we wanted that motion to go through the craziness we heard once. Let's hear it. So that is a thing that will happen every time you play. As we just demonstrated, that's going to happen. But let's do an experiment here, because I've heard different results, I think, based on the function. But let's see. I'm going to hit 2 notes, and then I'm going to see how the motion record deals with those 2 notes separately. Can you tell what just happened? Because it's something freaking amazing. The motion record works per voice. So we just did that wacky thing just with 1 note, and it recorded it for 1 note. And I just played 2 notes at different times, and it went through the motion record based on when the 2 different notes started. So they were both being modulated independently of each other. So the thing you've created here, now there may be some way that this doesn't exactly work in this way, but apparently morph is a thing that happens per voice. Otherwise we wouldn't hear what we just heard, which is just astounding. So when you play a chord staggered, you're going to have all the notes of that chord being modulated by the motion record, messing with the morph per voice. Let's hear it. And conversely, if you play everything at the same time, it's going to get that motion record to happen at the same time. And then it just sounds like I'm sitting there whipping that knob back and forth, and I'm not. That is really the things you can do with computers these days. Anyway, yeah. So then imagine staggering it slightly. Can you hear it playing each note in sequence as it does a thing that it, stands out? So like you can actually in some ways kind of sequence different notes by the order in which you play them and what you have done on the motion record. Like if you chose to do something that like VCO volume or something where the motion record had those independent notes, you could get like repeated patterns playing. Why would I not just show you instead of talking about it? Okay, let's do something weird here. Okay, so let's okay, there's our VCO one. Let's do some kind of weird thing where we hit record arm and then I play some sort of volume pattern. Okay, now let's hear that. Yeah. Now it's going to remember that when you do a motion record, wherever you start, wherever the knob is at the point where you start the motion record, that's 0 to the motion record. So you'll find that like this is where we pretty much just recorded the thing I just played. So it's going to sound like I played it as we play it. But if I then change this position and then play back the motion record, it's going to play back the motion record as if the current setting of the knob is 0. So keep that in mind. If you don't touch the knob after you you recorded all your whipping back and forth, it'll sound the same. But like if you record it and then you change the knob setting, it's going to start at the point it's currently at, and you might get less desirable results or more desirable results. You never really know what's going to happen. In this case, we're looking for it to come completely in and go completely away. So having it in a different position would be less satisfying for what I'm trying to do. So let's kind of sequence this and see what happens. I mean, the rhythms aren't going to line up, but it'll be fun. Okay. Okay, see, we've just learned a valuable lesson. We heard it do all the things it was doing, which was kind of cool. And you heard those notes moving back and forth, and you can do really cool things like that. Think of that happening with filter modulation or some other more incredible thing like noise coming in and going out. I mean, there's the possibilities are just, well, again, irritatingly infinite for me because I can't demonstrate all of the billions of cool things you can do. And there are a lot of things I'll never even think of that someone's going to do, and it's just going to be incredible. But we heard that after a while, it stopped doing the motion record. And that's because we have it over here on once instead of loop. So let's hear it on loop. Okay, ready? Oh, weird. Anyway, think about the fact that if you were to play the rhythm that I was doing on the knob in some sort of metric fashion, you could actually have notes come in and out. You could actually sequence them, which would be a pretty cool thing.